Whoa, a new logo. What's happening, squad? What's happening? How we doing today? I'm bringing to you a... Let's do that. We're bringing to you today Survival Hunter Mythic Plus dungeon loot that we wanna go for. And this is going to be based on the stats of haste to crit to mastery. So we're going to go through and we're going to pinpoint which dungeons you want to actually go for, right? There's one dungeon that pretty much has nearly everything. But before we start, shout out. You know what the deal is. Shout out. We got some new sponsors today. Bandai for all my Gundams in the back, if they want to. Kmart for this new sound bar thingy. It does pretty colors. And of course my one and only G Fuel. One fucking day. Okay. One day. Alright. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through. I've gone through all the dungeons, Mythic Plus, or all the Mythic dungeons. We've got the good stuff for you. Alright, so these are the things that you want to be, the dungeons you want to be farming and what pieces that you want. And then I'll throw a little bit more about like some world quest stuff, but it's mostly just focused on the Mythic dungeon loot tables. So, there are 8 dungeons. First one is actually a banger. A banger. The other side. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. We have the flame infusion, we have a staff, we have a chest, we have gloves, we have legs, we have boots, we have a finger. Nearly all of them have haste crit. Right? So you have your flame infusion, which is your conduit, which your carve or your butchery, if talented, will increase your next wildfire bomb by 13%. So 2 times. Buffed. Screenshot. Okay, so we have the staff, which is haste verse. We have the chest, which I was talking about. We have the chest, which is crit haste. Gloves, haste crit, I should say it that way. The legs are okay, which are haste mastery, but they're probably like not your best in slot. You have your boots, a haste crit, and I think that's it. So they're all haste crit. So the other side is going to be one of the dungeons that you really want to get into and you really want to be farming, right? This has pretty much nearly every slot. Second one, Halls of Atonement. Let me go back to my thing. So we have Stinging Strike. Ooh, increased by 18.5%. That's actually more than what it was. Anyway, Stinging Strike increases your Mongoose Bite or your Raptor Strike damage by a flat percent. The next kind of things that we want are your head slot, which is not your best in slot. It's burst haste. The next thing is your neck piece, which is haste mastery. It's a whole bunch of haste mastery. And the next thing that you want to do here is also your finger. It's not your best in slot, but it's another thing that you'd probably want, which is mastery haste. All these other ones are crit mastery or verse mastery, which are for your MM. Next is Mist. I don't know how to actually say this. Mist of Tirna Scythe. There's only actually one thing in here that we probably want, is probably like the best one out of all of them, is the shoulders, which is haste mastery. I went through pretty much all of them and I didn't really see any haste shoulders in Mythic Plus, in the Mythic dungeons, but you also have a companion, which is good. So yeah, but pretty much Mist is not one of the ones that you want to go for. It's only one loot, which is shoulders, but I think it's the best shoulders everywhere. Plaguefall has 2 best in slot. Actually 2 or 3 best in slot. You could say 3. So first one, Strength of the Pack. Whenever your kill command is reset, you gain a flat percent damage, 4.5% for 4 seconds. Next best in slot is the haste crit weapon. And then we also have the other finger that you want, which is crit haste. But also, this is the trinket that I think it's all melee that are going to want to go for. Single target damage is pretty much the file of putrefact. Every 5 seconds, your next melee ability applies liquefying ooze, dealing 575 damage over 12 seconds, which stacks up to 3 times. It's huge. It's huge. This is going to be your best in slot for Mythic Plus and for rating. You want to get a high eye level file purification. Next is Sanguine Depths. So you get your deadly tandem increased by 2.5%, 2.5 seconds, up from 1 second. That's actually pretty big. So we'd have to do some calculations now. So that's pretty good. But then there's not really anything you could go for a belt in here as well. Actually, I don't think I put a belt in the list yet. No, so you actually could go belt, haste verse, and also the legs, haste mastery. So Sanguine Depths, not too bad. Has possibly 3 deadly tandem, which looks like it's buff. The waist and the legs. Next one is the Spires of Ascension. What do we have here? We have a gun if you want to do your macro weapon slot switching, which is good. You have your best in slot cloak, which is haste crit. You have the wrists, which is haste verse. I don't think there are any haste crit in there. And another one that could possibly be good is because since we always want haste, the overcharge anima battery, which is, I think it's like the humming black dragon scale, but it's on use effect. You gain haste and you gain speed for 16 seconds. So which is not too bad. We're nearly finished, and we're here with the necrotic wake. So necrotic wake, best in slot, mount, boom. Need to get the mount. Everybody loves the mount, right? And then the other ones in here, I think, where is it? With my finger, which is okay, which is this one, which is the Stitchcraft. It's haste verse, which is alright. And I haven't really done too much testing on this. I know it says crit on there, but using coat your weapons with chimeric poison, it just does some damage. So that's not too bad. It's not one of the best, but it's okay. And the last but not least, the Theater of Pain. So you can also, could be a good PvP one versus Haste if you want to do PvP. There's also a crit haste offset chest that you could get. You also have gloves, which are crit haste. Where you have boots, which are crit haste, so they're the opposite of the ones from the other side. And you have the best in slot finger in here, which is the Blood Oath Signet. And also the Grim Codex. So if you want to do Mythic Plus, this is a pretty good one, because what will happen is you do a flat damage to your first person, and then it does damage to people behind it. So it's like your wildfire bomb, but in a trinket. So, for AoE damage, right? So yeah, that is received for me based on the stat weights that we use in BFA, which are haste to crit to mastery. Those are the best in slot that you want to go for. So the other side, so if we go back to my notes, the other side is a good one. So, well, you want to be farming the other side. You want to be farming Plague for, and you also be wanting to farm Theater of Pain. So I believe those are the 3 big ones that you really want to get into, because they just have everything. You have your trinket, which is a file. So Plague Fall, which is your weapon and your file. Of course, more weapon damage, the higher weapon you get, the more damage you're going to do, and the file just does a whole bunch of damage. And then you have Theater of Pain, which is your finger, and your AoE trinket for Mythic Plus. And then the other side for Flame Infusion and all your best in slot chest, gloves, legs, boots, and whatnot. So those are dungeons. Mythic dungeon where loot tables, which I believe that what we're going to be wanting to farm. I don't know how to put timestamps. If I know how to put timestamps, I'll put some timestamps down there. You can click on through and everything. But yeah, thank you all. If you made it this far, I'll be doing a Shadowlands giveaway. I should have done this at the beginning. I'll do a Shadowlands giveaway at 400 followers on my Twitch channel. Close, I think we're at 340. And yeah, thank you for everyone for supporting me as per usual. I love you guys. Catches. Next video will be up sometime soon.